Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Twat Talk. I'm your host, Roscoe M. And today I have another guest with me, unlike the last episode. So today I have my lovely friend who I've wanted to get on the podcast. I actually wanted you on as my first guest, but things kind of got in the way at the time. Rex Marbus. So how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to
Yeah,
talk to you again.
yeah, it's good to talk. I've missed that sexy voice. Missed it. I missed hearing it.
Beautiful,
So,
beautiful.
so how have things been? You told me you were playing a bunch of Valheim recently.
Yes, I have.
Mm.
And I'm stupid in love with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does everything for me that a game needs to do right now.
yeah, I
I'm
feel that.
loving it.
I feel that. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, and we'll do them kind of discussion style. So I'll ask you a
Sure.
question, we'll discuss it a bit, and then we'll move on to the next one. So
Now, are you on Twitch right now or are you on YouTube? Is this for
I'm just
YouTube?
this is for YouTube.
Okay. Very good.
So yeah. So the first question that I want to ask is like how and why did you get started on like Twitch and stuff? Like how did that come around?
So the way that it came around is kind of interesting
Mm-hmm.
because um well, in a nutshell, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons online, the PC game, a lot, like
Mm-hmm.
nonstop. Fell in love with it. Had a
As a
great
lot of
group
people
of
do.
friends who I would, yep, exactly, as one
Yeah.
does, right? So these folks were telling me, you need to start a Twitch channel
Mm-hmm.
and just play this game. And I'm like, what the hell is Twitch?
Which is what is this platform you speak of?
And they start explaining a bunch of different things, what it is from the viewer's perspective, and
Mm-hmm.
I had no streamer's perspective whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I looked into it and I thought, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I downloaded all the
Mm-hmm.
software. I got OBS going and I
Yep.
got everything working. And all of a sudden I started having fun and people started showing up to the streams.
That's amazing to
And
hear.
yeah,
It's always good to
and
have fun with it.
it you're exactly right. And
Yeah.
and it was a great deal of fun right from the very beginning.
Mm.
Because one of the benefits that I had as a streamer starting out was the game that I was playing was super popular among a very small audience,
Yeah.
and it was a very loyal audience. So every
Mm.
time that I went live, there were really only ever 15, 20, 30 people watching it at that time.
Yeah.
Well, slowly but surely it began to increase.
As it
More
does.
and more people started watching these. The game began to get more traction. The
Ooh.
the game ended up with more sales,
That's always a
and
plus.
they said, "Hey, would you like to become an official streamer for us?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I
Like
don't even know what half the buttons do in
I
OBS."
don't know what half of this does, and you want it to be official? Hmm.
Right.
Oh my god. Yeah. I remember starting and it was like I was taking none of it seriously. I did it like once every couple months. It was something that I wasn't really interested in at the time. And it was like I don't know, I think it was maybe like a year or so later that I actually started taking it somewhat seriously. And that was when you came in when I was playing Resident Evil 3,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
like last year when I started back. I decided, you know what? Because you said to me, what was it you typed in? Like, hey, we'll try and help you get to affiliate. And I'm like, the hell's affiliate? I think it was you and Christonius explained to me what it was, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go for that. Why not? And
There
then
you go.
it took a couple months of stream, but we got there in the end. I did eventually get there. It was great. It was a great feeling.
I was super happy for you, man.
Yeah.
See, you're one of those streamers where you're expressive and people they know what you're feeling and they know what you're thinking and
Yeah.
they can be present with you in the stream. A
Yes.
lot of other streamers, they don't have that sort of presence.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, that's what they like to see in a streamer,
Mm.
but not me. I mean, if I'm going to be out there streaming and put myself out there, I want you there sitting next to me. We're playing this game. We're all having a good time. And I noticed that right away in you.
Yeah.
So
I
That's
love.
why I wanted to help you as much as I could.
Yeah, I think I came from a good perspective of not starting streaming and then going to YouTube. I think having done YouTube for a couple of years really helped me because I could already, like, for example, if I'm recording myself playing a game, I'm sitting there on my own talking to an imaginary audience. So
Sure.
then to go from talking to no one, kind of talking to a void, I guess, to then having the interaction there, I think it really helped. Because then if stream goes dead, for example, like chat goes dead for a while, it's not me sitting there in silence because I know what I'm doing. I can commentate. I know how to do it at least somewhat.
There you go. Yeah, that
S-
makes complete
So
sense to
it's
me.
definitely a plus to come from that side of it. But yeah, Twitch was it's definitely fun and I really enjoy doing
It's fun and it's terrifying and
it.
it's satisfying and terrifying, and
I think
it's just
most
something that is
things,
so accessible to all of us now.
yeah,
And YouTube
definitely.
is super accessible to
Hmm.
everyone now.
Yeah,
And how we choose to move forward with it can completely fit the style of the creator, you know?
yeah. That's part of what I love is that you go into each streamer's, they go into their stream and it's a completely different vibe from anyone else. Like everyone has
Yeah.
their own different look and feel, and I love that about streaming. Like, you go into your streams and it's very laid back, it's very relaxed. You know, maybe some minor points of frustration and many, many moments
Oh,
of
sure.
comedy. But, it's a very laid back, chilled out, I'd say very mature stream, I'd say,
Yeah.
for that
I
kind of
totally get
audience.
that. Yeah.
And then people come over to, I know a couple streamers that I watch that I've actually had on here that are very much about a lot of their stuff is just talking to chat and making connections, and I love that as well.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
saying that
huge
I'm
for
not saying
me.
you don't make connections. That's not what I was implying.
No, no, no.
I mean that
No,
that's
I
their
totally
yeah,
understand what you're
that's their
saying.
like
Yep.
main focus is connecting with that audience. And they have a very loyal following, and I'll say that. And you certainly have your own very loyal following as well.
Yeah, and I haven't streamed in like weeks.
Yeah, I think
I'm terrible.
I went through a couple like a couple months towards the end of last year where I just felt very unmotivated to stream, and now I'm back into it. Like I'm getting
Yeah.
back into the swing of things. I just had to take a little break.
Yeah, and for me that's the same. I had to do a little break.
Definitely.
I was getting frustrated with cuz see, I'm not the kind of person that can try a new game on stream.
Hmm.
I have to play it by myself for a little bit, get used to it cuz let's face it, some guys are just not good at multitasking and I'm definitely one of them.
I will say that you're not too amazing at multitasking.
No, hell no.
I
I
I
I can't even talk and play a game at the same time half the time.
yeah, it's so funny sometimes in your chat, like you put a message in that's relevant at the time, and then 5 minutes later, when you actually look at it, it's like, huh?
Yeah.
I just, what do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, and it's like, never mind, it was from like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, no big deal. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
I've,
Just let Rex do his thing.
yeah, just I'll just let you do your thing. Uh, I've said I've certainly tried a few games on stream, and the few times that I have, it's either gone incredibly well or incredibly poorly. The two examples I can name, I tried Subnautica for the first time on stream.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd watched my friend Nova play it on his stream, and I went, you know what, I'm gonna get this. So I got it, and I go onto my own stream, and I played it for the very first time with chat being very, very helpful, and explained to me what things are, which is probably quite good, or else I would have had no idea what I was doing throughout the entirety of it. Um, and that was a really good example. I enjoyed the game, the stream went well, and everything. But then a really bad example was the stream that I did. It was sort of towards Halloween last
All
year.
right.
I tried out Blair Witch. My God,
Oh,
that game is awful. I hated it.
awful.
I hated that game because I can't remember. I got to like a certain door, I got through it, and then there was just nothing, like no clue on how to progress, absolutely nothing. I was like, and I think I was there for a good 10 minutes, and that was at the end of the stream. So I was in that room for about 10 minutes, and I went, nah, screw this, I give up. Like this game is
Yeah, yeah.
bollocks. This game's boring. I'm not. on edge at all. Like, it's meant to be a
I'm
horror game, and
angry.
it's like, yeah, I got angry during the stream, and I'm like, nah, screw this, I'm out.
Yeah.
So I've had both examples, but I understand what you're saying about you can't try a new game on stream. I get that.
Yeah. I've seen some people do it to great success, and
Yeah.
I can't. I want to talk with people, and
Mhm.
I miss things in the game, and I'm laughing with people, and shit's just flying right by my head, and everybody's like, press left tab, press left tab. And I'm like, there is only a left tab.
There's only one tab.
Fuck.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff it's fun. I have tried multiple games on stream. A lot of games that I do play, unless it's a multiplayer game, it's my first time going through it.
See,
Which
you got bigger balls than me. I just don't do it anymore.
yeah, I guess with a multiplayer game, I don't tend to do it. I tend to have played that at least for I normally have uploaded at least one video on it where I've played it a little, and that recording session is normally my first time. So I've
Oh
played
wow.
it, so
Okay.
I understand it a little in a multiplayer sense before I come on stream.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I've played quite a few multiplayer games though. What about yourself? I know you've played quite a few of them as well.
So when I started playing multiplayer games, I started with World of Warcraft. EverQuest
Ooh.
was super popular at the time. There was another MMO that was really popular at the time,
Mhm.
but I just couldn't get into them because I didn't like the art style. I didn't care for the progression.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden World of Warcraft came out
Mhm.
and I said, "What the hell is this?" And I went right down that World of Warcraft rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
I think a lot of people will be able to relate to that, going down that rabbit hole.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where I found myself for a long time, was just playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And then I knew that I liked the MMO genre,
Mhm.
and I found Dungeons and Dragons Online.
Yeah.
So when I found that, it was unlike Donkey Kong. I mean, it was a game
Mhm.
that I had already loved from tabletop, and it just went from there.
Yeah.
And I got to meet so many people because of that game, because it is
I have heard
it's a
that.
much smaller game.
I have heard that D&D is where a lot of people have met like lifelong friends and
Oh,
stuff. I hear that a
absolutely.
lot
Yeah, yeah.
from many perspectives of people who played the game. It's one of those games
And
that I've heard about, but I've never gotten into it, but I kind of want to try it at least once.
it's worth it to give it a try, to give it a real good old college try.
Yeah.
And don't fuck with the meta. Just
Mm.
don't. Just build your character in the world however you want to do it. If you want to be shit, I don't care. Come up with any three combinations of classes
Yeah.
and just go ahead and do it,
Yeah,
even if
just
they don't
go
work
for it.
together. And you will start to see yourself and your crew having fun. They're going to start
Mhm.
ripping on you because you picked this skill, and then
Yeah.
you're like, well, what about you?
I
And
guess
it
it's
just
that,
goes
yeah,
on
the
and on.
learning curve. It's a fun. I can
Yep.
imagine it's a fun one in that sense.
Yeah,
Like with having
absolutely. It is a
people
fun
around you.
learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll move on
I don't
to. Oh wait, I was
go
gonna
right
say
ahead.
I'll go on to. I was gonna move topic completely, so I'll let you finish your point.
Well, I think that was pretty much it. So
Ah, okay. So yeah, I'm guessing my next question, the next thing I want to ask you is where did your Twitch name come from? Your most recent one and your previous one. You know, where did all of them come from? I'd like to know.
two two great questions. So
Yes.
the original one
Mhm.
was because I played Dungeons and Dragons. The name
Actually, hold
of
on.
one of my
I
characters.
we should probably say what that name is. So, your previous name on Twitch was Teasel.
Yes,
So,
Teezal.
yes.
And the full name is of a rogue crossbowman.
Ah.
And yeah, and I played him till like level 30 a couple of times.
Mhm.
Because you can do incarnations of lives
Okay.
and continue playing the same character. Well,
Mhm.
Teasel Tinhathan was my main. And when people said I should start streaming, I didn't know about any other games that I would want to stream. And I said, well, I don't know what the hell to come up with for a name. So they said, well, why don't you just go with Teasel? Everybody in the Dungeons and Dragons online community knows you as Teasel. And I said, hey, cool.
Yeah.
And that's how I started to grow.
Ah, got it.
After a while, that name didn't fit me anymore.
Yeah.
After having been used it for frick, I don't know, what, 3, 4, 5 years,
Damn.
I wanted to change. So I decided to go with Rex Marbus. Now, Rex
Mm-hmm.
is Latin for king, and Marbus is a president of hell. So
Oh.
if yeah, if you look up the name Marbus,
Mm-hmm.
he's a he's the president of hell, commands so many legions, and all of this, and that's all according to the Ars Goetia, which is a tome that was printed back in the, I believe, the 1300s, something like
Ah,
that.
okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how I got the name.
It's a very interesting story because mine is very much just a nickname that was given to me. So
Ah, okay,
obviously, people can guess, so it's not exactly a difficult thing. My name is Ross, so that's just my name. A good, a nice Scottish name that my parents picked for me, and they picked
sure.
it because they picked that specific name because it couldn't be shortened in any way to give me a nickname.
Ah,
So then,
nice.
so then, what did my parents do? They added on letters and gave me a nickname. Which is so for my kind of almost my entire life, I've been called Roscoe, just
Okay,
as in passing by my family. So I
sure.
decided, okay, like when I started out on YouTube, I had so many different names, ones that I don't even want to name because they're that bad. They're so bad, and I went by them for so many years. Luckily, those videos are either deleted or no longer public. Thank God. But so essentially, then what I did is I thought, okay, I want to make this sound a little bit better, and it doesn't, so that it doesn't sound like I'm giving myself an Xbox gamer tag as my channel
Yeah,
name,
exactly.
because that's what it
Yep.
was. It was basically always my gamer tag, and I went, okay, nah, this is boring. I want something that I can stick to because my gamer tag I changed it a fair bit because I can never have anything the same for too long. As anyone who's followed my channel for any length of time will know, I am always making changes to something. Either the font that I use, the colors that I've used to represent myself over the years, like just everything, name, everything. Everything changes a lot. And I finally found a name that I could stick with, and it was Roscoe M. And I thought,
Nice.
that sounds okay, but how could I make it sound that little bit better? So I called the channel Roscoe M Studios.
There you
And
go.
then the reason where the studios comes in is because it's a joint channel. As of 2020, I believe, it's a joint channel between me and my friend Viper, who appears in a lot of my videos.
Oh,
Um,
beautiful.
yeah, so the two of us, he essentially makes content for me, I edit it with him, and his videos go up. So it's a joint
Ah,
channel, and I'd like to get more people on the channel as well, and make that studios a lot more.
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes a
so I
lot of
want to
sense.
create a team of content creators essentially, and then also on top of that, I have a team with a couple friends called International Riot. So I could probably
Nice.
explain that name as well. That name came from the fact that I know people from all across the world, so international, and everything we do always turns out chaotic. So Riot seemed very appropriate. um, so yeah, International Riot is the name of the team, and then we have Roscoe M Studios, which is the content kind of area. And but yeah, that's essentially how I came up with the name. And then when I moved to Twitch, I left it as Roscoe MYT because that's what I go by in a lot of games, and also because that's my Twitch channel. So it's for example,
Now,
Roscoe M
what is the
Studios
MYT?
MYT. So the M just comes from normal Roscoe M. It comes from that, and YT stands for YouTube. And I've seen so
Ah,
many
what the
people
hell am I
doing that.
thinking? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I see so many people doing that like for years. So I just went, screw it, that'll work. Roscoe MYT, and that's what I go by in a lot of games and stuff. Um,
Okay.
but I kept that as my Twitch name and didn't change that to Roscoe M Studios it's because I'm one part of the channel and the Twitch channel is mine. That's not
Ah, I
joint.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, the Twitch channel is not joint. The YouTube channel is. So Roscoe MYT is me, and Roscoe M Studios is the collection of all of us.
Gotcha.
Despite the fact that
I'm
it's
following now.
essentially been my channel since the beginning, but now it's a joint channel, and I want to bring people in to make a wide variety of content.
Excellent.
Yeah, because I always stick to roughly. I know what I like, and I stick to it. You know, I like multiplayer games. I like hanging out with other people. I play single player games and record playthroughs of them. And you know, other people can bring stuff that I necessarily or stuff that I don't necessarily play. So my friend Viper, he plays so many more different games. He plays like Arma, he plays SCP and things like that. Stuff that I wouldn't play. So it's a different variety of content that you get with him, and a different style as well. You get a different commentary.
That's nice to be able to go to one channel and see a lot of options.
Yes.
You know, because sometimes you feel comfortable in a location
Hmm.
and you enjoy watching one person, and then all of a sudden they bring in something else, and you're like, you know what? This is kind of a one-stop shop. And I don't think a lot of channels really make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some YouTubers out there that I like, but I don't want to watch I don't want to watch their content nonstop.
Hmm.
I want to, if I can go to a channel and I can see a whole bunch of different options in that channel, and I know that the same general look and feel is going to be there,
Yes.
and I can see 3 or 4 or 5 different creators
Hmm.
all kind of maintaining that same status quo.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm golden. That's great for me.
Yeah, and
I'll watch that all the
that's
time.
the eventual goal to have. Because for right now, it's just me and Viper making videos. But I hope to bring on people who have some kind of editing experience under them, so that they can make their own videos, and all I need to do is essentially review what they make to know that I want that out on my channel
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like that. Because
that
again,
makes sense.
while it's joint, I essentially would work in a kind of manager position, I guess. That
Sure,
I have the final say on, like, if there's a
you
joke
do.
that I don't like, I'll say, could you maybe cut that? You know,
There
like,
you
could
go.
you
That
cut
makes
that
sense.
because I'm not comfortable with that particular joke going up on my channel. But yeah,
There you go.
it's that's the kind of position that I want to be in, and I think it will be a fun one, getting more people involved.
Yeah, you find yourself being a creative director at that point, and
Yeah.
you're allowing the other folks to do what they want to do, and they operate within certain parameters.
Yes,
You know,
I basically say, like, I say to anyone that joins my channel or becomes like a regular in my videos, don't feel that you have to stick to one type of thing. Be open. Do whatever you want. You know, be free with it. Don't limit yourself, because I feel
sure.
like that's the one thing that would lead to the biggest amount of burnout for someone.
Oh, burnout with this is so high
Oh,
because
definitely, yeah.
let's face it, we have there a lot of streamers, a lot of YouTubers end up with a situation where there just isn't enough hours in the day.
Yes. I've
So they have
certainly
to
felt that.
manage that time. They have to manage that time between creation, entertainment, and actually getting stuff put up,
Yeah.
or taking the time to actually sit down and stream
Hmm.
if you're on a platform like Twitch. And shit, real life gets in the way all the time.
Oh,
The
I
challenge
yeah.
that I faced early on was, do I want to stream for X amount of hours at a time?
Hmm.
What kind of time am I taking, or what am I taking away from the rest of my real life activities if I'm sitting here streaming?
Yeah.
And finding that balance. And I know that people talk about balance a lot, but I'll tell
Hmm.
you what, it's really something when you have been streaming for long enough that you're getting a couple of checks in from Twitch,
Yep.
you're getting these $1,000 donations, you know, people are giving you brand new PCs and things
Hmm.
like that, and you start to realize, holy shit, this can actually become something.
Yeah.
And it's at that point where I found myself saying, shit, I either got to shit or get off the pot. You know, I gotta do something about this because
Yeah.
there's a lot of potential here. And I
Yes.
just really have never gone very far
Hmm.
with the level of potential that I have. I have I have I have beautiful stories about, $100 donations, $1,000 donations and all
Yeah.
this. And it's like people say to me, Mike, well, Christ, Rex, what the hell's wrong with you? Why don't you just keep doing this? You
Yeah.
know? And and I you know what the short answer is? The short answer is I find a game like Valheim or I find a game like Hell Let Loose or and I just go down that rabbit hole and I just
Yeah.
don't.
Same with the World of Warcraft rabbit hole. You just the cycle repeats.
The cycle repeats. Yep.
Yeah. The main thing that I found recently is that I wasn't overly happy with the type of videos that I was making. Um, so at least for a little while, not permanently, I'm switching it up a bit and going for more like this kind of content, like a podcast where it's completely unscripted and I'm not playing a game, so I'm not focused on anything else, but just talking to people and, just discussing things or going into scripted content where I have a very, like I want to talk about this and then talk about it.
I love it. And I'll tell you what, I started doing my crafting streams. I started doing talk show.
Mm-hmm.
What used to be Down the Rabbit Hole, now it's called Behind the Dark Door. I'm still
Ooh.
working on that. I have some people I have one person from MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around. Are you familiar with it at all?
I am not familiar with
Okay,
it.
well,
Please
for
enlighten me.
since so there's a group of people who have gotten together officially
Mm-hmm.
under the banner of the Mutual UFO Network.
Okay.
And they have gone into everything from just going out and looking up in the sky themselves, all the
Mm-hmm.
way to freedom of information requests that they put into the government or governments around the world. And they go ahead and they just investigate this stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'll be able to interview one of them on my show once I get it restarted. And then I also have people from the Bigfoot research organization. They're going to end up coming on. I'm getting all this stuff lined up, and I'm finding myself getting away from games more and getting more into this kind of content,
Yeah.
the exact same kind of content that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I'm
I've
really finding a lot of value in it.
I'm loving this kind of content at the minute. Just sitting down and talking with people or, like listening to their story and hearing different perspectives on things. I'm loving it. Plus also
It's
it,
wonderful.
it allows me a chance to sit back and kind of I guess take the load off a little and take
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
expectation of all these, fancy edits and stuff because this is just a discussion show. At the end of the
Sure.
day, all we're doing is talking.
I fully agree with you. I love this.
Yeah.
This is right up my alley.
Yeah.
Anytime you want me on, yeah, just let me know.
Hell yeah. Make you a regular guest.
Hey, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I've interviewed a few people, and you were actually the first one that I wanted to interview. But of
Oh,
course,
awesome.
things got in the way at the time, and we
Sure.
just haven't scheduled it until now.
Yeah.
Because I seen you as one of the main pushers behind my earliest streams. You were one of the big pushers and one of the big factors that I kept going.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it. I'm
Yeah,
really glad to hear it,
like remembering
And even
the
though people didn't appear,
mhm,
people didn't appear to be present sometimes, they
yeah,
were there to be able to give you that follow, to be able to give you that view, to be there for at least a few minutes in chat,
definitely.
and that's huge for a small streamer. And
Yeah,
I'll tell
I
you what,
I will tell you. Yes, that is
I
huge.
don't have a whole lot of viewers. I don't
Hmm.
average any more than 7 viewers at a time.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah. It's weird because you'd think that with the numbers that the viewers would grow with it, but not necessarily.
No. And if you look at the level of income that I've been able to enjoy,
Hmm.
for 7 viewers, and I tell people, I can make thousands of dollars doing this.
Yeah,
People are like, "What? How? How?
yeah.
With
Hi.
7 viewers?
Yeah,
What
and
the
it's
fuck?"
that. I think what that is it's people see how are you making thousands of dollars on such a small amount of viewers, but the thing is they're loyal viewers. They're there
That's exactly
all the
right. Yeah.
time. And I'm one of those people that I would rather have. Okay, say for example, I have, let's say in this argument, 5,000 Twitch followers. Hopefully one day. But let's say in this, let's say in this fictional scenario, I have 5,000, and let's say that I have 500 dedicated viewers that always turn up.
Yes.
I would rather have those, only that 500 followers than the 5,000. Like the, just an inflated, like an inflated number. I would rather have that small dedicated audience.
I love having the small dedicated audience, and I love it when new people are able to come in and they're able to slide right in and they're welcome. They can pull up a chair. We can all hang out and fuck around and have a good time. The thing is, don't get me wrong, I would love to have the money that the big streamers have, but I've seen their chat, and their chat flies by so fast. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they're able to maintain a presence like that.
That's something that I would be scared of.
Because people gravitate toward abundance, and there's a whole psychology behind why some people are popular and others aren't, and I understand all that, but I'll tell you what, I would love to be able to be making that kind of money, but to lose the ability to have somebody to come into my stream after 3 or 4 years of streaming and see them again for the first time and remember them.
Yeah.
That's really important.
That's one of the things that I would be scared of if my Twitch channel suddenly started growing at a faster rate. I would be so scared to lose that sort of personal touch to it. Where, for example, if chat just keeps flying past, there's no way that you could answer all of that in a timely manner.
Right.
Like, and there's no way to do that.
There are times, and something that you'll find as you move on, there are times where there's conversations in chat that you don't have to be involved in.
Yes.
And being able to ascertain which of those you don't need to be involved in frees you up for things. The other thing is having moderators who can help you out.
Definitely. I know
if somebody asks a question, say like, "Hey Rex, where did you get your name?" Another one of your moderators can come in and say, "Oh, this is how he got his name."
Yeah.
And you can continue to play. Don't always always lean heavily on a good moderator. At least have 1 or 2 really good moderators. Like when I go around and like, okay, perfect example. When I met you, who did most of the hype building? Christonius.
Definitely.
Remember that?
I remember everything was essentially Christonius. Just, yeah.
Yep. Christonius is my hype man. So when we would go around and help other smaller streamers, he's the guy really building it up. I don't have to worry about it. He'll come to me and he'll say, "Hey, listen, I found this really good streamer." Or I'll say, "Chris, I found this really good streamer, small streamer. Let's go check this person out."
Yeah.
And then I give him the reins and he just takes off. When I'm live, Chris is there like, well, you know Chris. He's like a freaking pit bull.
Oh, man.
You know?
Christonius, definitely. Yeah.
He will throw down a banhammer like nobody's business.
He definitely will.
Yeah.
Christonius will throw it down like that.
Yep. And I lean heavily on him for all of that. And I also lean on Shadowcat for that.
Yes.
And there's some other people that when they're in the stream, even though they're in there rarely, they run a tight ship. And I have a lot of moderators. I've given moderator status to a lot of different people. And you want to know something? I don't have moderator meetings and I don't have this, that, or the other thing. I have only a couple of rules on my channel, which are be kind and have fun. And when I've given my community the ability to operate underneath those circumstances, I end up with a situation where I can just stream. I've learned how to just let the chat go. And I'm finally to the point now after some years where I'm comfortable with chat. Even if chat is starting to speed up a little bit, I feel totally comfortable with it. You know?
Yeah.
Like if I miss something important, Christonius is going to say, "Hey, idiot."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly know that I can at least rely on my moderators to keep my chat clean, and to keep it
Oh,
keep it
my chat
nice.
can degrade into a nightmare.
I'm talking about in terms of like bots coming in and people coming in trying to ruin the
Oh yeah,
fun.
yeah,
They can keep that clean, and I trust them with that.
yeah.
And there have been a couple times where, for example, if I'm playing with one of them, I do need to say, like, yo, hold on, give me a minute to ban this person. Half the time when I think, okay, no one's gonna ban this bot, I'll do it. I'll go do it. Someone does it
Yeah.
for me, and I'm like, okay, like,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah, what you'll hear me say things like, "Oh, hey, Shadowcat, you got that one?"
Yeah.
And whenever any of my mods hear it, it's like a race. They're like, "Oh, shit." And then they're scanning chat. They're like, "Who gets to get the banning?"
Yeah, it's the it's as if all of a sudden you've just opened up like I'm trying to think of a good example. It's as if you've just like opened up like a box of treats and shouted to a bunch of pets, "Come get the treat!" Boom!
Exactly.
Immediately,
Exactly.
bang! It's like in the
Everybody's
Olympics with the
your
start.
chat
It's like an
sponsor.
Olympic starting pistol, bang, and they run.
Yep. I had to do 31 bans within a 1 hour period of time in my
God,
channel.
what?
So I was
31
playing
bands?
31, and it was just me and one other moderator.
Oh my god.
It was just this shitstorm of chaos. And
Yeah.
the quick story to that was this really huge streamer was making some content, and they came
Mm-hmm.
into my channel, and what their goal was to do a $2,000 donation
Okay.
and then watch my reaction and use that on their channel. Right? I
Ooh.
keep the money. You know how they do it.
Yeah.
So, but when they came in, the first thing that they did was advertise their servers.
Oh no.
Well, my people didn't know that this person offered servers. They didn't know who this person was.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, don't do that." And they're like, "Ha ha ha, don't worry about it. It's no big deal."
Hmm.
And they're like, "No, it is a big deal." And I'm like, You guys handle that. I'm not getting involved with that."
Yeah.
So so after a little bit of discussion, my moderator's like, "No, that's just not cool, you know." At the
Mm-hmm.
time, my name was Teasel, and she said, Teasel promotes everybody. You just have to let him do it for you
Yeah.
when it's appropriate.
Of course.
And
It's a
he
timing
starts
thing.
talking about how he's a big streamer or he's a big YouTuber and this and that. And she's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
Well,
means nothing.
he continued to act like a dick, so she banned him.
As you
He
do.
put out a tweet, and hundreds of people started showing up in my stream just fucking with me. Unban
Oh
him, unban
man.
him, unban him. And I'm like, fuck that. So he's
Yeah, it's like he was being an asshole. Chill.
yeah, a complete dick. So he starts
Yeah.
giving me these donations, these $2 donations, because then with the donation, his statement gets put up, his comment gets put up on the channel. He's like, "Yeah, you just
Ah.
played yourself and this and that," and I'm like, "Man, I don't want your money," and I just
Mm,
kept on refunding it. I kept refunding it
yeah.
right on stream, and I said, "Hey, listen, if you keep doing this, I'm just going to go ahead and give out all your personal information." So go ahead and give me another donation if you want. I don't give a fuck if they ban me. I'm nobody,
Mm,
and I was nobody at the time.
yeah.
Yeah. And never had any problems from them again.
People find that I see so many people on Twitch and YouTube that like they find it weird when you say to them, "I don't want your money." It's like, what? You mean you're not in it for the cash? It's like, no.
Oh shit! I want every single penny. I don't.
I mean, the way
give a
that
shit.
the way that I view it is like I'm here to entertain people. If you want to donate, feel free, but it's optional.
Oh
That's the way
yeah,
that I looked at it.
absolutely.
It's an
Oh, it's
optional
optional.
thing that you are consenting to, and it's if you can spare the money,
Right.
don't spend don't spend the money for your last meal on my stream, please. Please,
Sure.
no one do that.
Yeah.
like
And
like
there have been
simple
a
as that.
lot of what do you call it? There have been a lot of donations that I've given back. $2, $5, $3.06.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I'm playing games that younger people really enjoy.
Yes.
So this kid says, "Hey, I love your channel. I only have $3, I've saved $3.06 in my PayPal, and I want you to have it." No.
Yeah. It's like, if you
But
have
what
the
I
money to
do
spare, feel free, but do not give me like your last bit of cash.
exactly. But here's something really important that everyone should know. As a
Listen up,
content
everyone.
creator, we are super responsible for the happiness of the people who are watching. So in that case, it was better for me to tell the guy, "Hey, that's really cool. I really appreciate that $3.06 that you think of me that much."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I graciously accept it. And I'm like, you don't really have to do that, but I build up the hype. I build the person up, and I don't focus on saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." And
Yeah.
then later on, I turn around and I refund the money, and it's all good. And what happened?
Ah.
The person now understands that, hey, it's not about that, and that they're super appreciated.
Yes.
The stream continued to have fun. The donation went through on the stream. The hype was maintained. Everything's good. So you see where have decided to take on the responsibility of making sure that everything goes well. And some people would say to me, and some people have said, "Hey, that's a 16-year-old kid that just gave you their last $3.06."
Mm.
And I say, "Well, the only reason that you know that is because I told you about it. And don't forget, motherfucker, I went and refunded it."
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
always I always say
yeah.
to people that just showing up is enough. You are
Hmm.
appreciated so much just for being there in chat, even just watching, even if you're not typing. You are appreciated because you are helping.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You are helping to keep me either motivated or to keep me going, help me through something because I don't know. I feel like it's just nice, if people just show up and they have a good time.
Yep.
It's
And
a
especially during
great
a period
feeling.
of time like this where there's social distancing and things like
Ah,
that,
yeah.
to be able to make a connection like we're able to make with people, hey, that's outstanding.
Yeah, I think it's incredible the
Oh, my
fact.
phone is ringing. Hold on just a minute.
The what?
My phone is ringing. I don't even know where it is.
Oh my god. Hopefully it's not anything too vital.
Hello? I'm in an interview. All right, bye. That was my wife.
It was you.
That
Sorry,
was,
who?
that was my wife.
Oh.
Okay, bye.
Oh god. So, what was it? What was it we were saying? Yeah,
Just that we
yeah,
have,
just turning up is enough. Like you're
yeah,
appreciated just
turn
for
up
being there.
Yep.
Yeah, and especially like the times that we're in right now, it can be really tough. And the fact that we can make connections not only with the audience, but I think with each other as well. That is amazing. Like the fact that we can bond over something as simple as, hey, I like this game, you like this game. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what else is really cool is to be able to sit down and talk with other content creators, talk with other streamers.
Yes, I love that. And
Because
that's why I do
nobody
this.
understands a streamer like another streamer.
Exactly.
Oh my god, there are some moderators who really understand because they're there before the show, during the show, and after the show,
Mm.
and they feel the pain. Maybe they're familiar with OBS,
Yeah.
or whatever. And my god, streamer struggles. Oh,
Streamer struggles. Okay, so that's actually a good topic. Let's list a few of the streamer struggles real quick. So I'll let you start with one.
one of the biggest streamer struggles is understanding the interface of whatever broadcast software you're using.
Yes. I'm fortunate enough that I record with normal OBS and I stream with Streamlabs OBS. So the layout is similar, and I can basically just transfer everything over, which is very helpful. But if you're using anything else, I do recommend, you know your software. Know
And
what
the
you're
other thing
using.
that I hate that I absolutely hate are all of these YouTube videos. And if you are watching right now and you are a content creator and you feel like doing a tutorial for anything, I don't care if it's been 6 weeks since you decided to go ahead and post something. And I don't need to hear about 7 weeks since you decided to get around to doing this one. Just get into the content. Just get into the fucking content, you twat. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I feel it with tutorials, they should just kind of get to the point. It's a
Yeah.
tutorial. Like for that specific type of video, get to the point.
Yeah, if it's a tutorial, you know what? Do you take a look at which ones have the most views?
It's the ones that are
It's
like
the
3
ones that are
minutes.
2 or 3 minutes. Yeah,
Exactly. That's your sweet spot. 3-minute tutorials.
there you go.
That's your sweet spot. If it's something a bit more complicated, give or take like 5 to 7 minutes. But if
Now,
it's something simple, come on, 3 minutes at most.
uh-huh.
If
All I
it's
wanna
if it's a
know
simple how to
macro.
if it's a really simple how to record desktop audio, that shouldn't even be like, that should be barely more than a minute.
There's this cat. He's got a real thick East Asian accent, and he does the most. And the only reason that I mention that is because this dude he's got a really unique way of doing things, and he's so bland and he's so glib, and it is so easy to follow this cat at
Yeah.
exactly everything he's doing, and he gives you enough time to move your hand or move your mouse so that you can pause the video.
Yeah.
You know,
Whereas
some
some
of
of them
these
are
people
just
just
like
fly
that. Yeah.
through.
Yeah, they fly through the complicated stuff and then take forever explaining the basics. Like, come
Because I'll
on.
tell you what, when I started streaming, I had no understanding whatsoever about any of this software. So I had to learn from YouTube videos, and I sifted through some horrible garbage.
You sift through the worst of the worst and the best of the best.
Yeah,
When you're looking for
absolutely.
tutorials, you sift through all of it.
Exactly right.
Oh,
So that's
God.
one of the biggest ones for me.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest streamer struggles is dealing with that.
Mhm.
I haven't had the experience of feeling awkward talking to an empty chat. I
I've never
haven't
had that
had
either,
the-
thankfully.
and even when I don't have, or I should say, there have been plenty of times where I've had a completely dead or empty chat,
Yes.
no viewers or no one speaking.
Mhm.
But I don't have a problem with that because it's just my personality. I'm just capable of, I can stand up and give a presentation about anything, you know?
Yeah.
If somebody wants me to throw together a quick tutorial about how to sew dried farts together, I'd be like, well, give me 20 minutes
And I can do that.
at least.
Yeah, give me 20
So-
minutes, it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, God. One of
So
them
I never had that kind of
Yeah.
struggle. Did you have that? What was your experience when you first started dealing with dead chat?
Oh, dealing with dead chat at first was so demotivating. Because I was sat there and I kind of thought to myself, oh, does no one want to watch? But that's because I came from the YouTube side. So I came from, for example, you can watch, people, you can watch the views tick up and stuff like that. Even though I don't get many views, I can still see them tick up. I see that there's like 20s, I see there's like 10 one day. I come back like a couple hours later and there's maybe like, 13 views. I can see that tick up. And it's very satisfying to see that, oh, that video, did really well. But when it came to streaming and there was like that big number 0 staring me in the face.
That is the biggest number in the world, isn't it?
Yes, it was originally so demotivating. But eventually I learned to deal with it. Eventually I learned that, well, I mean, if I just keep being myself, talking into the void, if someone joins in, at least they're not coming in and thinking, oh, this guy's got no personality because he's not talking. So I feel like I'm not reliant on chat, but when chat is thriving, I do so much better. I can do I can do a stream with a dead chat, but when chat is thriving, and I mean absolutely like full of people who are wanting to talk all the time, I love that, and it's where I thrive the most.
Right. I mean, nobody wants to go to a party where it's just themselves.
Of course, you want other people.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah.
What's your big streamer struggle? What would you say is the biggest one besides some of the ones we've already mentioned?
Big streamer struggle for me is either software crashing or games crashing. Midway through, when you're right in the middle, when it's getting good and your game just shuts down, or OBS just shuts down. Oh,
Yeah.
that one's.
I have.
Oh, that's the big one for me.
I don't even want to comment. I could. It's gonna make me say all kinds of
That-
words that'll get you demonetized.
I'm not
I know
monetized
I've already
anyway. It's
fired
fine.
out a few of 'em.
I'm not monetized anyway. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. I never said this was family friendly.
You know, you're sitting there and everything is going well. You're totally in the zone. It's like one of
Yeah.
those days where the stars are just fucking lined up, and
Of
you
course.
look over and you see your OBS is saying that you have like 60% dropped frames,
Oh,
and you're like, "What? Nothing's been chattering on my screen. I haven't seen any delays. What the fuck?"
yeah. That
And then you
one's the
see
one.
that fateful message, "Hey, you're buffering right now." One of your moderators is like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
your camera froze," or
Oh, I had one that was quite funny. It was so what happened was I was streaming in a bitrate that essentially limits me to 720/60, right? But it
Okay.
essentially just it doesn't necessarily downscale it. It just streams a 1080 picture in 720. And I was an
Okay.
idiot one time and actually downscaled it, and it came back, and I was streaming same bitrate and everything, and my friend told me, my moderator, he said to me, "Yo, it's like 480, but it's in 720." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Check my settings and went, "Oh no, I turned it down from 1080 to 720 to 720 to that lowered 720." So it was basically showing up downscaling to like 480p. I'm like, no. So
Yep.
I very
And then
quickly
you
restart. I
move
really
on.
quickly stopped my stream, restarted it with the correct settings, and went, "That's better. Now it looks smooth," and it did.
God.
Oh, it was the worst. That was a funny one though. That was at least one that I could solve like that.
I
God.
I have almost pulled my hair out. I'm actually pausing while I talk because all of these little images are running through my head and
Vietnam style
I'm just
flashbacks.
ready to weep.
Vietnam style.
Yep. So one of my other bigger like pet peeves or bigger streamer struggles
Yep.
is stuff that's happening in the environment around me.
Ooh, yeah.
Sirens outside, somebody's knocking at the door, telephone is ringing,
Yeah.
not
The-
having a totally private studio.
Yes.
If I could have a private studio and I had control for all that,
Yes.
oh my
All
God,
of that
I'd
would
have
be
so many
yes.
other things going on.
Yeah. The one that I think my chat has gotten used to it is me getting food halfway through stream because of the time that I stream. And I think my chat's just kind of gotten used to it. That for most of my streams, just for like half an hour, for example, it will just stop dead while I eat and I just sit there chatting like utter bollocks.
There you go. And have you noticed that your chat starts to pick up a little bit when you're doing that?
Slightly. Sometimes it dies a little and I'm just kind of left there because I'm not saying a whole lot, so it's not sparking conversation because, I'm shoving food down my gob.
Sure.
But it can be quite fun when people start asking like, "Oh, what'd you get?" and things like that. That sparks conversation. But like I
Yeah.
said, I think my chat has just gotten used to the fact that I get food in the middle of a stream. I think chat's just gotten used to it, that it's one of those things that when you come to a Roscoe M stream, you're assured that there will be some form of food there for at least half an hour.
Yep.
It's like a
you know,
guarantee.
Something else that's a huge pet peeve of mine is nobody told me that that's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody told me
Yes.
that, because I thought that I thought I was just out there flying by the seat of my pants, and which we all are
Yeah.
to a point. But we don't come into this with the understanding that as long as you have a couple of basics nailed down, and I think for us, we would agree that the basics are have good have good quality, have good video quality, have good audio quality, keep up a positive attitude, or the attitude that you want to portray in your stream, the environment there, and pay attention to chat. As long as you're doing those basic things, you could start a fire in your living room and everything will be fine.
Yes, I agree with
And
that.
I have literally started fires in my living room.
Took the advice a bit too literally.
Well, I mean, I would do cooking streams and have
Oh.
cooking on a little portable
Oh
stove
Lord.
right here in my living room where I stream from.
God.
And 6-foot flames coming up from it.
Yeah. Wait, you stream in your living room?
Yeah, I stream in my living room.
I didn't know you streamed in your living room. I thought it was like I thought you had, for example, like your living room, kitchen, a bedroom, and then like a separate, like a different room.
No.
Or it was like a
Nope, there's
bedroom or
2
something
bedrooms,
like
a
that.
living room, and a kitchen in my apartment.
Damn.
And
Yeah.
I stream right in the living room. That's why I have so much going on around me. That's why a lot
Got
of times
it.
you can hear the birds.
That makes a
my
lot of
wife is washing
sense.
dishes.
Yeah, I always
You
wondered.
know.
I'm like, how is there so much going on all the time? Like, are you not in a different room from everything else? And then apparently no.
No.
You managed to make it look very much, I guess, not like what I'd imagine would be streaming from someone's living room. It certainly doesn't sound it. It doesn't
Oh, that's
sound it, and
good.
it doesn't look it. You know what I mean? Like, your audio sounds very, very smooth and everything like that. Which, if I was to stream in my living room, the echo would be very much apparent.
Yeah, so I fiddle with my audio. That's another thing. That's
Yeah.
another big problem for me is fiddling with my audio too much or not enough. I don't know where the sweet spot is for my audio. I just don't.
Yeah.
And knowing what my OBS settings should be after all these years of streaming, there are certain I don't know enough about what I don't know about to be able to ask the right questions.
Yes.
And
I
I just sit here fumbling on my own.
and hoping it
So then I
works.
go and I try to ask another streamer who I actually pulled into the game. And I'm like, hey, your shit looks great. Oh, I don't know. I had somebody else do it. What the fuck?
It's like, why? Why can I not just find someone who can tell me what to do?
Because you can't just give me numbers and I put them in and click on
Exactly.
this and click on this. I need to know why it's doing this.
Yes.
Because I'm
very
just one of
much.
those guys.
Yeah. I did it through fiddling and just through, like, record like a 2-second clip, listen to it, hear what needs to be adjusted, adjust. And I found my point where I'm like, that's it. That's what I need.
I have fiddled and fiddled and fiddled.
I guess I was just lucky to find out what it was, and I don't know anything about audio mixing. I know nothing about it. I just know that I know the basics, that my mic sounds good, my desktop is fine, and my desktop is always just a little bit quieter than my voice.
Okay.
You know, I always set
I
it just a little
started looking
quieter.
I started looking into some higher end equipment
Mm,
and decided I'm just going to use software for now.
yeah.
There's what the heck is the name of that? See, I pulled my hand away from my mouse. I was going to go into my computer and take a look at something.
Mhm.
And I thought, no, I'm live with Roscoe right now. I'm not going to jack anything up. See, I've learned.
Yeah. It's just one of those things
had a
that's like,
physical
oh,
reaction
okay.
to it.
Yeah.
All right. So what is it called? It's called Voice Meter. Voice Meter.
Okay.
Check it out,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be able to. It's a virtual audio input, and then you can go ahead and make modifications to your
Yes.
voice levels. You can
Mhm.
do everything that you need to.
Yeah.
And
I've done it all through OBS and what it offers.
sure.
For example, one of the big problems for me was always background noise. I hate background noise, and I would always have to. I would always have to. When I say background noise, I don't mean like sirens or things in the back. I mean like, you know, that kind of sound.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate that so much, and I sit there and I fiddled with it for so long to get the level just right that my voice comes through and it's still clear, but the noise is cancelled out as much as possible. And I got that, and thank God that I did, because previously what I was doing was I was having to like take the audio from my videos in the edit and clean it up, and it just never sounded right because at the time I was recording only on one track, so noise suppression
Okay.
basically killed the game audio as well, made it sound all weird. So I was so
Yeah.
annoyed with it for so long, and I finally got my balance right. Thank God for that, because I don't want to have to fiddle with it every time.
Yeah, that's all I do is fiddle around.
Just
Well, I would love
constantly.
to have I would love to hire an engineer
Oh yeah.
to just take care of all this
I
stuff
would,
so that
yeah,
I
I
can
would,
just
I
sit
would love
down.
to hire someone to just sort all my audio and all my video out for me and just go, yep, that's it, you can stream now. Like, guaranteed
You know,
every time.
there has got to be somebody out there like that does that as a service.
Surely, yeah, because I'm seeing like a massive gap in the market. Anyone out there with a business mind, take advantage of this. If you know anything about audio and you know anything slightly about business, like streaming and stuff like that,
We'll make you a millionaire.
we will make you a millionaire, because I can tell you pretty much every single streamer that is not, like a well-established person in the community, someone who's been streaming for years and they're popular on YouTube and they've got millions and millions of fans, they have no idea what they're doing. Like, I will confirm that. We have no idea what we're doing. Someone take advantage of this and make it a service, please. Even if it's
There you
just
go.
on Fiverr. Like, please.
Yep. That's kind of what I've done with my that's kind of what I've done with my artwork. And the different screens that I create and things like that.
Yeah.
I'll go up to different streamers and say, "Hey, look, I love your stream. Take a look at what I can do with
Mhm.
your own artwork that you've already got up at your channel.
Yeah.
And is this something that you want?" And then I can charge a couple of bucks. But then in this at the same time, I teach them how to integrate it into OBS
Yes. So that's
so
the
that it goes
what are they
smooth.
called? The stingers, which is your
Yeah,
transitions,
the
I'm guessing.
stingers and the transitions
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
I might,
Yeah. Yep.
I might have to start looking into some of them soon, because all I've got at the minute is just a simple fade. So I might
Sure.
have to be looking into some of that soon. So yeah.
I can hook you up. It's cheap.
Hell yeah. I'll certainly look into it, getting a stinger, because I've seen yours and I just went, wow, that looks cool. Like, it looks like
So then
a really
another thing
professionally
that I
done
went
thing.
and did is I went and found 2 different artists to make
Mhm.
emotes and logos.
Yes.
And I'm looking for a third and fourth because there's certain styles that people want.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can say, "Hey, listen, do you like this style, or this style?" And they'll
Mhm.
say this style. So then I contact that artist and I say, "All right, this is what we have to do." Artist interfaces with me, I interface with the client.
Mm-hmm.
Client says, "This is what we like." And what ends up happening a lot of time, if someone goes out and goes to speak directly to an artist, if they don't know how to communicate with an artist, they're going to end up with something coming back that they're just not happy with.
Yeah.
But here's what's nice. I know these artists personally, and I
Yes.
know how to interface with them, and I know how to ask these qualifying questions of the client. And I can say, "Listen, when you say that you want this to be green, are you talking about this kind of green or this kind of green? Or did
Mm-hmm.
you know that that's not a complementary color to this and it's just going to look like pure ass?"
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can, because I've already built that rapport, I can do that.
Yes.
So it's way easier, and they're getting a lot of bang for their buck when I'm able to do that for them.
Mm-hmm. A lot of my
And
stuff I can sort of make on my own, roughly, or I can use other
sure,
tools to use them. Like,
absolutely.
for the people who are obviously watching this, the screen that you're seeing is I basically just took I basically just took a bunch of images off of Google that fit what I was looking for, and I threw them together. So I'll explain it for you, because you obviously can't see it at the current minute. It's essentially
Sure.
a black brick wall at the back with a purple sign, because purple is kind of my whole thing here on the channel, saying Twat Talk,
Right on.
that glows behind us, like kind of like a neon sign.
Nice.
And I have 2 chairs in front of it, with a simple rectangle that I've angled in a certain way to look like a table with 2 microphones on top. And what I do is I have my avatar in one chair, and I have like a generic male or female in the other one.
Okay.
But what I do is, and you'll know why I asked for your picture, is because then I take whatever profile picture they want, and I put it over the top of the face so that it's, just a generic male body, but with like your profile picture on top of it. And that's my new
Love it.
setup, and it makes it look like a studio, which is like if I was filming this as like a proper like a podcast in a studio, this is the way I would want it to look.
There you go.
And I managed to do it through Photoshop, which was absolutely lovely. Especially because I don't have the budget to, like, for example, if I was going to talk to you, I don't have the budget to have people, like fly over, get hotels, just for, a
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
So, which is why I like that I can do stuff online as well.
Yeah, we have access to tools that allow us to do things today that we couldn't do, however many years ago. And
I'd say even
I'm
possibly
always
within like 10 years, maybe, like 10, 20 years, the stuff just wasn't as good as it is now.
no,
Like
and
Skype.
it's and I'll tell you why it's not as good as it is now, because 10 years ago, that kind of shit was not accessible for somebody accessible to somebody like me with my level of skill or lack of skill.
Yeah.
But I can do that now.
Yeah. Discord, I
Yeah.
think, is I think it's one of the best things that ever happened for gaming. Like, just in communities in general.
Absolutely.
I
And
guess
it
one of
used
the
to be
best
Ventrilo. Ventrilo used to be the gold standard, and I used Ventrilo constantly.
I always
And
heard
that's
people
exactly
talking about,
what
like, using TeamSpeak as well. That used to be,
Or-
like, one of the top ones.
Yep. Ventrilo and TeamSpeak.
Mm.
And then we all kind of migrated over to TeamSpeak, and then I had my TeamSpeak server for my guild in Dungeons and Dragons Online,
Yeah.
DDO, and yeah, I just ran. There was like what was it, like $15 a month, and
I
your
don't
whole
remember.
clan would be able to sit there and act crazy and
Yeah.
have a good time.
I know a lot of people that still do use TeamSpeak because it just fits with them more than Discord, which I perfectly understand.
Oh, sure.
I get that. Like, if you only want, certain people to be able to access rooms, obviously you can do that with Discord, but you can set like a specific password for people
Yes.
and stuff like that. Which, yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, there's a place in the market for all of this stuff.
Yeah,
because
Discord, TeamSpeak, and all that can work together. I think, like, or
absolutely.
alongside one another is probably the better word.
Yep. And then people started saying to me, "How come you don't have a Discord?" And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about? I use TeamSpeak." And they're
Yeah.
like, "Just use Discord." And I'm like, "Well, all it does is the same thing." And they're like, "Dude, no, it's not the same thing."
Yeah, it's... I remember, I never even considered a Discord in terms of content. I just considered it as, oh yeah, I'll make a Discord and I'll invite my friends to it, and that's about it. Because at the time I was new to PC gaming, so I didn't know a lot of people. I barely knew anyone,
okay.
and I barely played. So I think I had 3 friends, and one of my friends started a Discord for me, or I made the Discord, gave him moderator, and he sorted it all out. Now I sort my Discord myself because I know how to do it.
Sure.
And things like that. But yeah, it was certainly fun to do, and I've always used Discord because I only kind of got into PC gaming 2018. I got into it, so by then Discord was already in popular use. So I was quite fortunate in that sense, and now my Discord's become a place where all of the people who either watch or are in my videos can just come and chill.
Yeah.
And it's a fun place.
And you see people logging in from work to check in on everybody, and they're in their car on the way home from work. And when that stuff like that starts to happen, you realize, you know what? I think I got a good thing going on. I got a nice.
I have had a few bad experiences with people in my Discord, but honestly, who doesn't? Who doesn't have like a bad experience? A lot of it for me was when people that, for example, I didn't particularly want in my Discord that know me IRL, not because I'm embarrassed by anything, but mainly just because it's a person that I don't particularly like, and they join my Discord and they start causing a bit of a ruckus. I had one like a couple of weeks back. Not someone I know in real life, didn't know them at all, and they joined. Can't even remember their name, but they join in and they start asking for my friend in the server, like in general chat. like they're piping up, basically tagging my friend, atting him and stuff. And I'm like, hey, look, like that's not cool. If you want to talk to him, DM him. Don't, because he was basically,
Yeah,
because he wasn't necessarily asking him a question. It wasn't it wasn't like a hey, can we talk? It was uh, like an aggressive ask to talk. He's trying to
sure,
come in
sure.
like, hey, you here, like, and I'm sat here like, I'm deleting all the messages. Kicked him. He joined back. Started doing it again. Kicked him, and then the third time I just went, okay, I'm just gonna ban this guy because I can't be arsed with this.
Yeah.
I think it was a time. It was close to 1 a.m. for me, so I'm like, I cannot be arsed. Like I'm done. I'm done with this. Just ban him. Go to sleep.
So, what are your thoughts on kicking or banning?
Kicking or banning, for me, it's a last resort. It's the last thing that I want to do because I don't want to, especially with banning, I don't want to have to ban someone because, like, if you're just gonna be an arsehole, just, do it somewhere else. Like,
Yep.
don't come into my server and be an arsehole to someone in there. Take it up with them in DMs. Like,
Yeah.
do
So
something else.
I told my mods, well, a few of them, because I don't go
Mhm.
through a big long, hey, now you're a moderator and this is what I expect kind of thing. Because my rules on my channel are be kind, have fun.
Yep.
Those are
Very
my, those
simple
are my
rules.
rules.
Mhm.
It's those two things. So I've learned over time that it's okay to mute some people just
Mhm.
because they need to have just a little couple of moments to think about what they did.
Yep.
But I don't kick. You know why?
Mm.
Because they come back. So you know what I do instead?
Yeah, you got a point.
I ban. If you are to the point where nobody wants you around,
Mhm.
where you have to actually be removed,
Yeah.
that's a ban. And all of my moderators know that if they're gonna ban somebody, they don't have to run it past me.
Yeah.
They don't have to do any of that. They ban the person and then I'll say, "Oh wow, what happened?" And they'll say,
Yeah,
"Oh,
and
this
then they
person did
explain.
this and this and this."
I
And I'm
guess
like,
it's that
"Oh,
way.
hey,
Yeah, like
cool."
they ban, and then if it was unjust, you can make the call after the fact.
Sure. And then people will say, "Well, so and so banned me. Um, can we talk about this? Can I appeal the
Mhm.
ban?" I'm like, "Well, shit, not with me."
Yeah, take it up with them.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one that did it.
And I've even said, "Hey, I'd like to have you back, but if the moderator doesn't want you back, I'm not going to piss off my moderator. They're more important than you are." Well,
Yeah.
fuck you, man. Fuck you. Well, no, here's the thing. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Because you're the one who
Because you're the
stepped
one
out
that
of
had
line
to be
first.
removed. You had to be
Yeah.
removed.
You're the
Yeah.
one knocking on my door. We're already here.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Ah.
So that's how I do it. I just go straight to the ban. Just go.
Yeah.
Just go. And you know what? I learned that, and I've learned this in life too.
Hmm.
Like being a small business consultant
Mhm.
and dealing with a lot of retail
Yeah.
clients. I tell them, don't be afraid to kick people out of your store because those very same people who are acting like complete jackasses know other people.
Yeah.
And they're going to go to those other people. And you might think that it's a bad thing that they go to these other people and say, "Hey, I've been kicked out of your store." But you want to know something? It's not like back in the day, like when I was growing up. All right, I'm an old dude. When I was growing up, you could threaten a business owner by saying, "I'm not coming back to your store." Nowadays, that doesn't work because the
Yeah. No.
revenue still rolls in.
Exactly. That's.
So what it
I
has
find it
slowly
funny when
slipped.
people say that now. Like I'm
Yep,
never coming back. It's like good riddance.
that's what we want.
It's like good riddance. You caused me a hassle. Go
Yeah,
on.
I don't need your asshole. So
Yeah.
what ends up happening is these people go out into the world and they tell other people about it, and the people that know them say to themselves, "Oh my god, that's great. What store was that?" And they find out and they come back because they know because they know the low caliber of individual that person is,
Yeah.
and they're glad that somebody finally stood up to them.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like
so
there's a lot of people that just need like a good hard slap.
Yeah.
and it will sort
Don't be a
them right
twat.
out. Well, I mean, don't be a twat unless it's you're joining the twat army
The twat
here at
army. The
Roscoe.
twat army.
Unless you're joining the twat army here at Roscoe M, don't be a twat.
We're a unique bunch of twats.
We're very unique, I can tell you that much. My community is very unique, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
I am a proud member of the twat army.
Yes! We shall rise and take over one day, I'm telling you.
I hope. You know,
Viva
you
la
have,
Rolling Stones.
you have a lot of really good things going on, man. You do. You really do. And I'm glad that me and Chris found you. You know, I
Yeah.
noticed something right away when I came to your stream.
Thank you very much,
And
man.
now I'm a guest on yours.
Yeah, now you're a guest on my channel.
Yep.
It's good to have you here. You've been
Thanks,
you've been an avid supporter for, I think this is bordering on 3 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, because I started streaming in 2018 originally. You know, with 19, 20, 21.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy how the time just flies by.
Holy crap. Then that means I've been streaming for 5 years.
Jesus. That's
You know how many
insane.
followers I have in that time?
How many?
776.
Damn. That's so close to being like all perfect sevens.
I know.
Someone go follow. One person to get all the sevens, jackpot lined up.
And people are like, how do you have so little followers but still make so much money?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I think what it is, and I'll tell you, I sat down with Vinny, my son.
Yep.
Vinny Gales.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about it, and he said, Dad, the people who like to follow you are the people who have a lot of disposable income.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at.
Mm.
Where Ninja gets his money in subs and ads,
Yeah.
I get mine
Donation.
in donations
Yeah.
and PCs.
Mhm.
And I don't have to pay for games anymore because people just buy them for me because they wanted to see me play them.
Yeah.
So that's just amazing. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes I'll refund a game. I'm like, no, I don't want this game because not something I'm gonna play, but I love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I remember this. I was doing a stream once, and I'd been going for like a couple hours. I was getting quite tired, so I changed it into just chatting and just spoke to the people who were in my chat. And I was saying to them, "Okay, I think I'm just about to end." All of a sudden, raid, and I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I can't." And it was so many.
now you're going for 4 hours.
I can't remember how many people it was. I didn't go too much. I think I went like an hour or two, an hour and a half or so longer. But that initial raid, it brought in so many people, and then I think in that one night I hadn't had any donations. I had no bits, no subs, nothing yet. And then that night, I think it was like $50 in one night. I'm like, Christ, that's more than I've ever made, ever. Given
Isn't that great?
given that all I'd made up to this point was exactly nothing, you know, that's more than I've ever
Yeah.
made in in a single event,
Sure.
and it was amazing. It was a great feeling. I know that
Oh,
much. It
God,
was
yeah.
an amazing feeling. Those first like gifted subs and donation, insane. And the people who were in that stream, I cannot thank them all enough. You know,
Yeah.
and still, I think now, you know, donations are still kind of trickling in. Obviously, they slowed down. Obviously, that happens, and I expected
Sure,
it. I expected that to happen. You know, donations are not going to be a constant thing. I didn't expect them to be. I've still not made my first paycheck yet. I'm still.
Oh,
I'm
it's
still
an
getting
amazing feeling.
there. Still getting there. Because it's like what is it, like $100, and then
$100,
yeah, $100, and then they pay it out. So yeah, still climbing there as I do, but it's
Good,
fun.
good.
I'm not in it for just money. I'm in it because it's fun and I enjoy it. So I guess that's what keeps me motivated and why I don't sit there like a couple other streamers, some of whom I've actually talked about, who sit there and literally beg for money and say, you know, if you have time to watch Twitch, you have $5 to give to me. And it's like, no, that's not how this works.
That's just sickening.
Yeah, I made a whole video on it, and oh my god, the response to these people, it's insane. And these people are still on the platform. Like, these people are still on Twitch because I've seen them streaming, and I'm like, God,
I just don't understand how.
I don't know
guess
how
that's
they
just
keep doing it.
a matter of kindness.
Yeah, the
You know?
problem
That's not
was,
a kind thing to say.
yeah, the problem that I had with it is not necessarily that she was harassing chat. That's obviously horrible. The second part that made me
Yeah.
a little bit mad is that people started giving more donations and more people started to sub.
See,
I'm
and
like,
that's
no,
part of
you're
that
just
psychology
yeah.
that I was
I'm like,
talking
you're
about at the very
feeding
beginning.
that toxic mindset that she has, that she could just beg for money and she'll get it.
Yeah.
And these people, honestly, I think don't deserve a platform, but they have it. So, who am I?
Yeah.
Who who am I to go against that? Apparently, according to Twitch, doesn't violate terms and service.
No. Now, if I were to say to you, I will let you play a game with me if you give me $5, then you can get
Yeah.
banned.
Yeah.
But if I just sit there and say, if you have time to watch me, then you have time to donate, then that's totally different. There's no
I
transaction.
think there's also a slight double standard as well, because I've seen a few people who've been banned for things that other certain streamers have not been banned for, and I think it's
Oh
it's
yeah,
honestly shocking.
Twitch is willy nilly with what they want, with what they do. Well, Amazon, that's what it is.
Bloody, I think the most
Yeah,
infamous
bananas.
case of that was Alinity. Do you remember that
Yeah, she
scenario that
flipped
went
the
down?
boob.
Like she
Yeah,
threw,
that's actually
yeah,
yeah.
she
Go ahead.
threw the cat over where
Yeah.
because what was it that happened? She was playing Apex. It walked in front of her and she threw it back over a chair. Which obviously that's just not something you do. You don't just pick up your cat and throw it over the back, like over your chair. Like, are you dumb? But so she didn't get banned. I think she got a suspension for that, but she didn't get banned for it, which I think, why? And then I don't remember what it was, but she did a bunch of our stuff. Like she did false
Didn't she
copyright.
flip a boob or something like that?
I don't remember.
Who's
I think
the one who popped her nipple out.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't keep up with a lot of it. But Alinity was also the one that started filing false copyright strikes as well.
What?
And she's somehow still on the platform. I know. It's insane. How can you still be on a platform when you have admitted to filing false claims against someone's video? Because a strike and a claim are two different things. A claim, all that does is it takes away your monetization and gives it to whatever company owns, like, the song or movie, whatever that you've used. Perfectly fine. I get claims all the time. A strike is something that can actually affect someone's channel. A strike can stop someone from, I think in terms of YouTube's live streaming, it can stop them receiving super chat, which is essentially donations. So it stops them getting that. I think if you get a second one, it stops you uploading for a while. Like, that can, and 3 strikes and you're out. So false strikes are some of the worst things you can do.
Holy crap.
Very fortunately, who she tried to do it to was I don't know if he still is, but at the time, the most subscribed man on YouTube. The man himself, PewDiePie. So, yeah, that didn't go over too well. The strike got removed, and he was perfectly fine. But if that had been someone smaller, if that had been someone way smaller, for example, me, let's say I got a strike, I can't do anything about that. I don't have the time to sit there and argue this out with lawyers. I don't have time, and I also don't have the knowledge or the money to pay lawyers to do that. So, that's one of the worst.
Horseshit.
I think that's one of the worst things you can do. And somehow she still has a platform, and I don't know why. She's done so many scummy things over the course of her career.
Well, it's about the money that they bring in,
Yeah, because she's one of these people that she's also one of those people that basically just shakes her arse on camera for cash. So, yeah, you know exactly what type of stream you're getting into there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And I support all of that 100%.
Oh, yeah.
You do what you want to do, but don't be a fucking asshole.
Yeah, you get down with your bad self, but don't be an arsehole.
Be kind and have fun. As long as you're being kind. Being kind is a blanket that covers everything.
Yes.
Everything. So,
like you said, be kind, have fun. And on that note, I think that's a very good note to end it on. Be kind,
beautiful,
have fun. So, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, of course. thank you, Rex, for coming on the podcast. It's been a pleasure to have you
Yep.
on. Great
Glad to be here.
conversations. Great conversation.
Anytime.
Very much so. I will probably bring you on again and we can talk about some other stuff. We'll see what happens.
Excellent.
But again, thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And join my Discord down below. And follow my Instagram, also linked in the description. Love a bit of shameless self-promotion, me. And I'll see all of you next time. Goodbye.